Alright, before we start, I'm a horrible storyteller and narrator. I sound like that one kid in class who can't read.
You reading like you slow, cuz. Nah, it just show up different.
But bear with me. Anyway, most people know what Beyblade is, or at least have seen memes of them throughout their lives. For those of you who live under a rock, Beyblade is a game where you spin tops and see who spins the longest, or if you can knock them out of the stadium, you win. Over the years, this game of spinning tops became very popular because of its animated show Beyblade and its particularly extreme portrayal of the game. Now, how did a 25-year-old man-child get into Beyblade? Let me explain. Starting from the Metal Fusion series, because that is what I grew up. During this era of Beyblade, the real-life game was rather boring. Don't get me wrong, the Beyblades look cool IRL, but the game was unrefined. What I mean by this is that the stadiums were small and the only two winning conditions were either by knockout or spin finish, and the battles were not that exciting. The anime, on the other hand, was bonkers. It was the driving factor for sales. I mean, you literally had Beyblades parting the Red Sea and Beyblade drive-bys. But this era of Beyblade added a very crucial part in the IRL game, which was the incorporation of the metal outer ring. This upgrade to metal instead of plastic added a satisfying cleaning sound during battle, which made the battles more exciting and destructive to bathtubs. This metal outer ring made it into the current Beyblade series, Beyblade X. But before we get into that, there is a third generation of Beyblade called Beyblade Burst. I honestly don't know anything about the anime or the Beyblades in this era. I do know that they drastically changed the appearance of the Beyblades to look very toyish, which I wasn't a fan of. I preferred the Metal Fusion design, but they added another very crucial part into the game, which refined the game even more. Enter the burst mechanic. The burst mechanic is an additional winning condition that makes the Beyblades explode. They pretty much made it so that you don't just win from tops running out of stamina or pushing the Beyblades out of the stadium, which made the game more interesting. But there was still an underlying problem with Beyblade. The stadiums were boring. I mean, it was more interesting playing in bathtubs or in walks than the actual stadiums because the battles on the stadiums were just as interesting as any Jake Paul fights. Then came the current series Beyblade X. They did just that. They upgraded the stadium to have rails and added gears on the Beyblade so they could make massive attacks and make the battles more stimulating. Not only did they upgrade the stadium, they amalgamated all the upgrades from the prior series into this one, adding metal, the burst mechanic, and the more simple but effective Beyblade design made the game feel refined. It wasn't that crude and primitive game it used to be. And the current game has a lot more depth, and not just from the upgrades we talked about, but from the three-piece design they use, which are the blade, ratchet, and bit. The different combinations from the ratchets and bits greatly affect the performance of the Beyblade, allowing for a plethora of combinations to compete with, and for enthusiasts to deep dive into. The ratchets are for handling burst resistance, and there are tons of different shaped ratchets to go with your top. The bit plays a crucial role in the personality of your Beyblade. You want it aggressive? Then go with a flat bit. You want more stamina? Then use a ball bit. Or, if you want a balance of the two, use a point bit. And there are variants to each type of bits, making the combinations endless. Also, your technique in launching the Beyblade attributes to the behavior of it on the stadium. If you tilt your launch, you get a more stable spin, but if you do a flat launch on a flat bit, you get a very aggressive Beyblade. And to add to all this refinement, they also added a point system to Beyblade. Spin finishes give you 1 point, knockouts give you 2 points, burst finishes give you 2 points, and extreme finishes give you 3 points. So you can't just take advantage of stamina types and win within one round like you used to. The significance of this new point system is usually overlooked. Not only does it add depth to the battles, but it makes it so where you launch your Beyblade on the stadium matters. Depending on the combination of your Beyblade, it can behave differently in different zones of the stadium, such as launching attack types further away from the knockout zone because it's aggressive playstyle, or launching them closer to the accelerator rail to initiate massive attacks early on because of its lack of stamina. Now, these points just might be an excuse for an adult like me to play Beyblade, but the game is so much more refined now, and the building your combination aspect of it makes the game super interesting for casual players and veterans alike. Now, if you're looking to get into Beyblade, or if you're kind of curious, I suggest you get the Hasbro Beyblade Stadium. I made a video about it, link in the description below. Shameful plugging. You kind of need the stadium to play the new Beyblade mechanic, and it comes with 2 Beyblades, one of them being Dran Dagger, which is an awesome Beyblade. If you go the other route of buying individual Beyblades and buying the Hasbro Bucket Stadium, you're pretty much spending the same amount of money for one less Beyblade in a very shitty stadium. It's probably more useful as a trash can than a Beyblade Stadium to begin with. Nonetheless, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. I am an adult who enjoys playing Beyblade and loves making content on it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and then comment down below what your opinion on Beyblade is and the current state it is in, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's do Dran Dagger and Dran Buster. We'll go Dran Dagger first. Dran Dagger takes the win, so we'll do Dran Dagger versus Wizard Rod. Wizard Rod takes the win, so we'll go Wizard Rod versus Tusk Mammoth. Wizard Rod takes the win, so we'll go Wizard Rod versus Phoenix Wing. No. Wizard Rod takes the win. We'll do Wizard Rod versus Dran Buster, the last one. First place versus last place. Dran Buster takes the win. Wow, unexpected.